Hello and welcome everybody. Today we've got something a little bit different for you. We are going to be doing some StarCraft 2 co-op. I still do play StarCraft 2, not as much as I used to. Still like doing the co-op. I don't do the ladder stuff anymore, like the 1v1 or 2v2 against players. I just do co-op stuff. One thing I do want to get into though, I'm definitely going to be trying to update my channel name, if anyone even pays attention to that. I'm going to try and see if I can use Dream, which is what I use on the majority of my gaming. Been using that forever. So I'd like to try and see if I can align it. I'm not sure if it's already taken. I haven't even checked yet. I wanted to make sure that people just kind of knew I was changing my name before, just in case it's something that matters. You know, they do say your branding is important on YouTube. I have been really trying hard to start working on my channel again, bringing content, bringing updates. I'd really like to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark that's required for the next step with YouTube, and getting into, getting into having people watch stuff and people enjoy stuff. You know, so it's something that I do enjoy, being able to share stuff with you that you guys like watching, that you want to see. It's not always easy to figure that out, because I'm not super creative, so usually a lot of times I do just share either me just generally playing or things that I think will be helpful, like guides and stuff that I've learned. So I really do like playing this commander, Karax, on co-op. He's a lot of fun, especially with his Prestige 4. His Prestige 4, all of your cooldowns are super cheap, and they're much faster, they recharge much faster. There's actually times where I forget to use them efficiently because they're just so fast to recharge and come back up. A lot of times. And so, I like going straight into that expansion first. Usually I'll do a pylon first. It seems to be much more economical and better to go with the pylon first and keep spitting out workers. Other days I'll just go straight up for the Nexus just to flex, show that I can do it early. And then depending on the map, I'll actually use my cooldowns to help my ally get a faster base. Maps like this, the first wave comes really early on, so I like to save my energy rather than that, because really getting units out fast for Karax is not a strong point. You can go for those quick cannons, because I find that cannons are more effective in trying to get out some early zealots or early units. So you can see transferred a little too many, so just bringing some back. And here comes first wave, and we've got our nice beam, which I proceed to miss. And then don't really need to use it on the third one on the enemies, so go ahead and do a little bit of damage to the rocks, get them a bit better. Yeah, so this game here goes pretty well. I think we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. There's really no need to watch some of the slower opening, as I just kind of macro up and build up a slightly better economy here. So at this point, I've decided that I want to go ahead and go with ground units with the robotics facility. I really enjoy having Colossi, and the Immortals are quite good with their upgrade that allows them to shoot down the range units so that you can deal with air, because Karax does not have a lot of good anti-air if you don't go carriers. You could say that Phoenixes are good too for anti-air, with their upgrade that allows them to phase out or whatever to avoid some damage. There are times where I will play Mass Phoenix, but I do feel like they're a bit of a weaker unit for a lot of different engagements. But yeah, so you can go ground, and you can have, as long as the air isn't too crazy, I find. There's a few options you can do against air, but in this case we're getting ground units, so I went with the robotics facility. I love building some Colossi and seeing the ground on fire, and we're just working on some of our basic upgrades, Solar Forge upgrades, getting some stuff from the Twilight Council. I can't even think right now. And we're just slowly pushing out. Having a teammate playing such a powerful commander is always nice. Although he's a bit slow on his macro there. We're pretty far into this match and he still hasn't expanded yet. I find surprising, but that's okay. I'm actually a little bit disappointed that I haven't been using my cooldowns a bit more effectively, considering how fast that cooldown time is. I really should be considering taking slightly better advantage of them, but we can see the giant purifier beam of love coming out now. And we should definitely consider. And then I didn't micro well enough here, or multitask well enough here. I should have really noticed that those units were getting attacked, and it would have been nice to have been able to save that Immortal and those sentries. I forget what they're called, energizers or whatever they're called. I think all the names are different in co-op for the same unit. I find that rather annoying. And yeah, my teammate here just doing a wonderful job, and I'm just trying to hunt out some lurkers without having detection yet. I think I finally did start making detection, but as you can see, trying to figure out where some of those lurkers are. Didn't quite notice them right there, but now I see it. We're going to take that out. I'm not sure what's exactly is going on, but still trying to keep my macro good. As you can see, slipped quite a bit on the macro. Got a lot of resources here, spent a bit too much time microing. But I'm not a super high level player. I never did make it past Platinum, never made it into Diamond. There was a point there on the 1v1 where I was starting to get good enough that it would match me against Diamond players, and then I'd just get my ass handed to me. So, and I just felt like it's hard to play at that high level all the time. I didn't enjoy how much work it took to keep playing at that high level. So as you can see, I was going to build a cannon and a shield battery there, and then I realized, you know what, this is out of the way. The enemies don't actually walk this far over on the map. When they come down to attack bases, they're a little bit further closer to the edge of the map. So I was like, yeah, it's just not worth it. Let's cancel it. Let's just get a couple more production facilities so we can spend our money. So you can see, screwed up something with my upgrades there. That was really annoying. And then just putting up a little bit of defenses here, just in case we miss something and it slips past us. Just buys me a few seconds to keep that base alive. I don't think I'll need it, but again, it's just one of those things. This engagement I really did not plan out well. As you can see, for whatever dumb reason, my Purifier Beam didn't actually go off there. And because of the Vipers and stuff in this area and the few air units, just didn't really have the right setup to go and engage there. Oh, this is actually, I realized I canceled the Purifier Beam because I wanted to save it for the incoming wave. That's what ended up happening. So,
that pirate scum ransacks the city at
yeah, that's probably the right choice, but definitely should have pulled back my units there a little bit sooner.
Please kill them all.
As you can see, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my upgrades now. It turns out I put both upgrades on the same forge, which was a bit of a... So as you can see, we're coming into another wave of enemies, and that Purifier Beam already off cooldown has straight from one wave right into the next wave. So that's pretty awesome. I love that, being able to get in so fast. As you can see, building another little forward base here. I thought my teammate was actually going to use some of my buildings here to help spawn in his units, but for whatever reason he's still sending them from home. Don't really know, but it could be because of his prestige. Not really too sure. Either way, we're working out just fine. You know, definitely a little bit of poor control on my part here. You know, I'm stuck in those blinding clouds. I'm just pulling my units back into this corner because make sure they don't die. But with his army up there, I'm probably being a little too timid now. There's not too much left that could threaten or kill my army. But playing Protoss, I always feel like you gotta be careful. It's kind of like the snowball effect, you know, and it goes in the opposite direction too. That if your army's just a little too small, you just get your ass handed to you, and they're so slow and long to rebuild and everything. So, but you can see, doing an okay job of keeping my money fairly low now. I'm pretty happy with how my macro's been going this game. Managing to keep stuff building well, controlling my army, keeping those resources fairly low. Working on my upgrades quite constantly, stuff like that. So yeah, overall I was fairly happy with my performance in this game. I've definitely had games where I've let my bank get way higher, or, you know, and I only had 1 or 2 points so far in this game where I really felt like I got too tunnel visioned on something. And I really haven't been playing a lot of StarCraft lately. I do every now and again hop into co-op, but you know, sometimes it'll be like, but I think it's been almost 2 months since I played a significant amount of co-op. Although I'm disappointed in myself that I haven't finished the laser beam upgrade to set the ground on fire. I love that one. The solar lance, when it sets the ground on fire, is such a good one. So as you can see, just taking care of some upgrades back home because I realized that I hadn't been doing a great job. And again, that solar beam, it just come back so fast. Freaking love that. Such a great ability. Alright, so we are starting to make our slow push into the final objective area. I'm being pretty careful here, especially about my ally back up yet. There's a lot of units in here, very easy to get overwhelmed, especially since, you know, I have to manually shoot any air down with the immortals. So I tend to be, you know, I have to be very careful. You know, but again, that Solar Lance, I built up so much energy. I can do a lot of that. And now I'm just thinking I want to group up my army again. Keep it nice and tight. Make sure that they're not spread out, getting slaughtered by too many enemies at once.
Now that's what I like to see. Void Shard terminated.
Not using my Solar Lance super effective here, but also with those blinding clouds that went down from the Vipers. Just gotta try and do a little bit of micro to get my army out there. I think that was a bit of a mistake backing up there, but I don't think I needed to actually bother backing up my army like this. Now they're being totally useless instead of being helpful. I think that I was just a little scared knowing that there's a big flyer there and, you know, wanting to do some other things. I just brought my army back to safety just to make sure that, I wouldn't get owned while I was looking away at something else. So, I don't know why I built those two guys so far back there. Either way, another great victory on Brutal Campaign. I definitely feel like I worked my ass off for that one. Alright, we're going to hop into another game right away here. I'm actually going to change my mind. I want to go with Swann. Let's do that instead. Swann is another free character that I quite enjoy playing. I would say that there's definitely better characters than Swann out there, but I just have a lot of fun mass dropping a whole bunch of siege tanks and watching things blow up. Makes it a lot of fun. I also thought for the hell of it, let's show you my keyboard. Let's change the camera layout here so you guys can kind of see. You know, I'm no pro Korean player with fingers going 3 million keystrokes a minute or whatever the hell they can do.
Send both of your armies to my side to bolster mine. I will emerge victorious.
It's been a while since I played Swann, so my build order is a bit rusty here, and I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm getting all my gas quite so early. This is a map, though, that you can't fast expand on because, well, you can. It's just very difficult to fast expand because of the amount of enemies that are defending your expansion. So this is definitely not my usual build. Usual build, when I remember to do it correctly, is you go into your factory right away to get a couple of turrets so that you can shoot down the rocks and then you expand there. So, and then after that, you generally get an armory just in time for your laser drill to finish up, and you'd get your gas by then. But yeah, so not the best build, that's 100% for certain. We've already got the first wave coming for us. Here I should be actually building some turrets right away, but my call down's almost ready, so I'm just waiting to use my call down anyways. Not a big deal. His call down is quite powerful, so especially when you get that timing nice and right, like I did there, so we get the stun on a lot of the units. My teammate also had his call down to get started there. You know, I'm rusty. This map plus Swann. So anyways, moving over my units towards the objective to push it forward a little bit. And then at some point I know I'm going to realize, oh, I should clear out my expansion with these guys. It's definitely something I should have thought of a little sooner. So my ally no longer helped pushing it forward because he's also doing his. I'm going to throw a siege tank over there and hopefully we'll start moving that forward while I'm working out on clearing out my expansion. One of these annoying things that catch me off guard quite a bit when playing StarCraft, if I'm not careful, is something like this. I'm too busy focusing about doing my expansion right now to realize that we have a wave of enemies that came in, destroyed my tanks, and now they're pushing our objective back towards failure. So yeah, that really sucks. Laser drill finally finished them off. I didn't even realize, oh no, actually it looks like he uses battle cruiser to finish them off. So this map I've lost quite a few times, surprisingly, as time goes on. There's two things that happen here that really can make it hard if you're not paying attention early on. One is if you push the objective too far and you don't have the army to defeat the hybrids, the first set of hybrids that spawn in on the bottom center left there. And then the other problem is if you wait too long without pushing the objective forward, the hybrids will also just spawn in automatically. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned here. I've got my units sitting here trying to defend our objective, push it forward. My allies nowhere to be found, and I've kind of screwed up on my macro a bit here in terms of building an army. I'm having to use Irradiate for my science vessel to kill units, and my Draken laser drill, of course, is killing them as well. So this is getting very scary. We're that close to the objective. We've got an enemy wave coming in. I have no idea where my teammate is, and I do not have an army to speak of. So it's definitely my fault just as much as it is his fault. But he should have been with me pushing that objective forward a lot earlier. I might finally be starting to get a bit of macro up, but as you can see, my resources are way too high. I haven't been building enough stuff. I was busy dealing with trying to help save his base. And now we run into that problem I was talking about. We're 9 minutes into the match. There's like no army to speak of. And I'm supply blocked? Oh gosh. Maybe I'm not. I hope I'm not. But I think I am. And yeah, I just don't have enough army to deal with these hybrids. The way that he's bringing in his units, not that great either. But yeah, there's just nothing we can do. He was not helping me move the objective forward. It bought us. We had 0 buffer. There was no way to kill them in time. So we lost. I'm a little salty about that. I do realize, though, looking back on this, some of the major mistakes I made that were a little bit bigger than I thought they were. There were some times there where I could have been building more army, and I definitely could have had a better army going to that hybrid, but really, you know, it's super frustrating. It is his fault that he didn't help push that objective at all for so long in the match. Alright, so let's hop into another game. We matched with somebody, and thankfully it's not the same guy. So, we'll see you on the other side. Alright, so we got a bit of a more normal build here for Swann. As you can see, the factory's almost done. I got a gas down, and I'm sending my workers over. Now, this is a little bit different than I would usually do. I remembered partway through it wasn't quite optimal. Quite often what I'll do is I'll actually have 2 workers heading over there while the factory's finishing up so they can actually start the Betsy cannon or whatever. No, Betsy is the flamethrower? I don't know. They can start the turret right away. As you can see now, I got 2 turrets, threw out a gas there. And then one of the things is making sure that your workers actually go and start doing stuff once they finish building. It can be rather annoying. Waves coming. This is a very early wave map, so I'm going to quickly salvage one of those so I can afford building a second turret up here. I'm going to actually salvage it right before it finishes, and there we go. We're going to have 2 turrets up, one of each type, because I don't know yet what the wave's going to be. So you definitely want to have a flame burst turret, just in case it is something like Zergling, so I'm very thankful that I had it up. And we're going to make nice quick work of that starting wave, and then we can go straight into our expansion, which is awesome, and I can salvage those 2 turrets up front to get my money back and be able to continue with my opening build order. And my teammate is like super grateful. Apparently he's had a run of bad luck, kind of like I did in the last game, where he's had to deal with people who just had no clue what they were doing. So we're off to a great start. So I hear this audio cue and I think, oh crap, I can't upgrade it. I've got a hotkey, picked it out, can't start upgrading, and I'm like, shit. So throw down an armory, grab some extra workers. This is one of the things that I really like about Swann, is that multiple SCVs can build the same building. It allows you to kind of quickly make up for little mistakes like being supply blocked, forgetting to build tech. This is probably not the most efficient use of my big giant laser beam. I think I missed a bit there, but I just wanted to feel hopeful. I feel bad, you know, I've got my little army sitting at home, haven't done a lot. This is kind of the production layout that I do like to have. I like to have 2 factories and 1 starport for the majority of the earlier game. You can definitely add on another starport a bit later on. Generally, you can't do much more than 2 factories with the labs on them. You produce quite fast now there. As you can see, just trying to have a little bit of micro. I'm a little slow here, not the best at micro, but just trying to keep stuff from dying by picking it up, leapfrogging it back. And this is why I love Swann. I love this tactical jump, being able to bring your whole army in and just rain down death. Especially, you know, when you've got like 10, 12 siege tanks and you just see them start unloading. It's just freaking such a good feeling. Here I'm throwing down my drop pods first, just to kind of build a little bit of a buffer to not lose all my army when I fly in and drop them. Those blinding clouds though, frick, I was not accounting for those. That's pretty brutal. And friggin' Vipers, so frustrating. You don't even have time to repair that Thor from its death. I don't have... I should have loaded everything back up maybe in the Hercules. I'm not sure what I should have been doing differently there. Thankfully I was able to rebuild quite a few of those units, and my teammate there helping take out the bonus objective, which is pretty awesome of him. Definitely feel at this point that I'm starting to let my attention slip a little bit. I'm starting to, you know, have trouble with the rapidly paying attention to everything that's going on, just making some smaller movements that aren't quite as efficient. But yeah, again, just the mobility. I decided not to teleport closer to the wave just because, well, the wave of enemies there was pretty close, so I thought it'd be waste of a jump to go in. If we pay attention here, you can see a couple little things I'm doing with hotkeys as we're going through. I'm just tabbing through the group, seeing if there's anything that needs to be repaired, bringing up my production facilities, working on building a couple things there as well, out of gas, so checking on my upgrades, and just, you know, so having those hotkeys to be able to do some of that macro back at home, that's quite important. I actually don't know if I put out all my Vespian gas upgraders, considering I'm this hard up on gas. But then again, that's part of the problem with going Thor Siege Tank instead of Fly's Siege Tank. It's just that gas problem. And again, as you can see, repairing them, just doing a bit of a tab through. I'm not really sure what that ability is that goes on my Science Vessels there. I always am worried that that's something... One thing I want to note there with the Hercules, you don't want to just tell all your units to load up in the Hercules and then just wait for it to go pick them up. If you notice that they're picking up one unit at a time, fly them closer to the units and then get them to load in, because it'll instantly load all of them that are in range. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Again, I am really trying hard to bring this channel back to life and provide you guys with stuff to enjoy in some way or another, so please help me out a lot by hitting that subscribe button and help me get into my first 1,000 subscribers.
Man, I love hearing that.
Giving myself a hard time for having too much bank at the end.